What up? It's your boy, the Stinkler, aka the Stinky Guy, aka the Stink. I'm here with another album review, and I'm a little late on this one. I've been sitting on this for a little bit now. But Gunna released The Last Wun. I listened to One of One when it came out, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. I thought it was an okay album. I didn't think it was bad by any means. So my expectations weren't high, but they weren't low for The Last Wun, or The Last Wun. And to be honest, I really don't have too much to say about this album. I'm going to start it off right here. I'm going to rip the band aid off quick and clean so it doesn't hurt. I don't feel like this album really had like a lot of meat and potatoes. I don't think it really brought a whole lot. And I'll be honest, I got a little bored of this album towards the end, and I'll expand on these reasons later on. This is a longer album. It has 25 tracks and it runs at an hour and 8 minutes long, so it's a hefty album. So, there's a lot to it. So you're probably wondering, why aren't there a lot of meat and potatoes? Again, I'll get to that later. Stop asking me questions, all right? Jesus, dude. God. Anyways, so I'm going to go over songs that I thought were good, songs that I thought were bad, and maybe some songs that I think were, have a little bit of significance. And then, once again, my review of the album as a whole. The first song that I thought was good and like really stuck out to me was "Just Say That." It was really funny because I wrote down "Gonna practice safe sex" because within the first like 30 seconds of the song, I think, or maybe minute, he mentions like that he uses rubber or something, and I thought that was funny that he made this a message within, not a message, but he said this in the song. He claimed this, that he practices safe sex, and good for Gunna. Um, you know, because he doesn't want just kids running around and be a young boy. This has a bit of an ego to it, like the hook is kind of going like, if you want a feature, just say that. I'm not saying that at all, like he said it, but that's kind of the gist of it. I like it. This is a chill song. I think this could be a good song to put on Aux. I think out of this whole project, I think that "Just Say That" is definitely a song worth checking out for sure. The next song is "Forever Be Mine." I really liked Kid on this track. I think that he really made this song and elevated it a lot better. He didn't make the song, he was a feature on the song, but I think he made it better, is the point that I'm getting at here. I think Gunna really had a good verse. I think the beat is original enough compared to the rest of the album. And for that, I think it is a good song because it sounds different than everything else on here. Kind of when I start pulling at fingernails a little bit. Clubhouse, I think, is a good song. I don't have a lot to say about it. I think it's just pretty chill. I do think it's worth checking out, but I don't really have anything incredible to say about it. The last song that really stuck out to me was "Fuck With Your Boy." I think this has one of the best, not one of the best, I think it has the best beat on the whole project for sure. I think it is the chillest song in there. I think it's really good. I think this one is also really worth checking out. The first bad song is WGTF. I do not like the hook on this song at all. It just goes, "Who's getting fucked tonight? Who's getting fucked tonight?" And I don't like it at all. Just a song about like sex kind of. And I don't like Burna Boy on this. I don't really like him as a feature. I didn't really like his collab with Travis. I didn't like that song, and I don't like this song. I'm just not a big Burna Boy fan, so that brings it down for me as well. Next is "Satisfaction." This is similar to WGTF in a way, with the feature. It has a sake on it, or however you pronounce it. I also don't like his music that much either. I'm not a big fan of him. He also had a collab with Travis, is why I know about him, and I didn't like that song either. And I just don't think really anything's really working on this track for me. The last bad song that I'll mention is CFWM. This is where he kind of like tries. He doesn't. He just tries to sing on this song a little bit, and I don't think it sounds too good. It reminds me of Young Boy on Massa, where he has these songs where he's trying to like get kind of vocal and sing, and it just doesn't work because it's not their style. It doesn't fit them at all, and that's the same here with CFWM. Don't like it. Wouldn't really recommend this song. Easy skip for me. Now, Gunna on The Last Wun. This is Young Thug and Lil Baby and Lil Durk on some of these songs on the second track, which is "Let That Sink In," where he kind of disses all of them kind of in a few lines. And then he also disses Young Thug, I know, on his own, in a different track. That's kind of what I saw online. I'm not too well versed in their beef. I knew that Gunna and Young Thug were like pretty close. So it was actually surprising to me to see that they had fallen out. But from what I gathered, kind of like Gunna, he went to jail, he took that plea deal or whatever. That kind of, I don't know, ruffled some feathers between him and Young Thug is kind of what I gathered from. I could be completely wrong. Again, I don't really know the beef that well. I could easily look it up, but I don't really care to right now, to be honest. But this does play a part in some of these songs on this album. Now, I don't think this album is bad by any means at all, by in any way. I'm just not a big trap fan, or a big Gunna fan, so I'm already not really the target audience for this album. But I do like some of the songs. Like I did add, all the songs that I thought were good here onto my playlist and a few extra, but I didn't really have a good reason to why. It was just I was feeling the vibe. But a lot of songs on this album really felt like, you know, almost copy pasting. Because he uses like the same like three like drum patterns over and over and over on the album, and there's like maybe one or two songs where he like really switches it up and it feels different. But other than that, it can feel very boring. It felt very boring to me because of how repetitive the songs were feeling. It just like it felt like a blur, and there were some songs on here. I'll be completely honest that I just like tuned out because I was playing Forager while listening to this. And usually I can lock in on the song and play Forager because Forager doesn't require a lot. I tuned more into Forager for some of these songs than I did, for the song, which I think can say a lot. I just got bored because of how repetitive the beats felt, and I wasn't into it, and I didn't care about the lyrics. I was like, oh, I just feels like I'm hearing the same beat that I'm not vibing with over and over and over. And I think that I could like this album more if it was shorter, but it being an hour and 8 minutes is a commitment, especially to an album that I just really wasn't vibing with towards the halfway mark that much. And it really does just come down to songs not feeling original or different from each other. Original is a bad thing. They don't feel different from each other. A lot of them don't. Um, but I think that if you enjoy trap music or enjoy Gunna, you're probably gonna like this a lot more than I did and give this a much better rating. You know what I mean? I haven't given it the rating yet. I'll get to that, but when we get to that, I think if you like trap, you're gonna give it a better rating than me. So Stinkler, what is that rating? I think that I would give this album a 4 out of 10. I was really debating between like a 3 to a 4, but I think I'll give it 4 because I did add more songs to my playlist than I really thought I did. So I did vibe with it more than I thought I did, you know. Um, but again, if you like trap, I could see this being higher. I could see this maybe being a 6, 7, maybe an 8. I don't see this being higher than an 8. I just don't think it's feasible for this to be a 9, and I think it's almost impossible to give this album a 10. And it's not that Gunna like doesn't have interesting lyrics, because from some of the stuff I heard like through this album, it is interesting and it can be engaging, but again, it all stems back to just I'm not a big fan of trap beats because they all sound very similar. That's why I'm a huge Tyler the Creator and Kendrick fan, because every song just sounds so different from each other. And it always brings something new to the table. That's why I really like Jid's album. Sorry, like Clips' album. That's why I really liked Alfredo too. And those are like my nominations for album of the year, because everything sounds so different and it's just so engaging. And this one just to me was not engaging. Well, if you made it this far, maybe give the video a like, maybe subscribe if you're feeling it. I know I was really pulling on nails to try and get this video as close to 10 minutes as possible. Because why not? I really just didn't have a lot to say about it. But maybe leave a comment. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think my thoughts are valid? Do you think that I'm stupid? Do you think that this review is stinky and I live up to that name? Let me know in the comments your thoughts about the last one. You are interested in the gameplay in the background. This is from my Marvel Rivals Grind to GM series. I have 6 parts out, so there's plenty of content to watch there if you're interested in that. I've been, learning editing this whole time. I've been making these reviews and stuff. So I've been trying to put that more into the Marvel Rivals because I've been making them more like VODs, but I want to make them more edited so they're more engaging. You know what I mean? Um, take my own criticism, and put it on my own work that I'm making. But you know what? I'll see you guys in the next review. Stay stinky. Bye bye.